Can we hear me now? Hello? I see levels. Alright, so it looks like I have sound now. Alright, so let's start that again. Hello, I am Timothy Allmon from Tresys. Today we will be doing a slideshow presentation and a Q&A. If you have questions during any of the slides, please drop them in the chat, and I have help in the room to copy down those questions for me to go over at the end. And if there's something that I'm not clear about during the slides, let us know in chat, and I will be able to elaborate. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get this started. All right, so Tresys, we are a cybersecurity company. We perform device, network, and platform assessments. We are also leaders in the SE Linux community. We do consulting and courses if you need to learn some SE Linux. We also have cross-domain solution platforms that you can purchase for both Inconis and Oconis. So let's get to work on these slides. I will try not to talk so loud. Again, I am Tim Allmon. I'm known in the InfoSec community as Wasabi. I started going from IT to InfoSec in 2010, and then doing actual hacking stuff in 2010. As a part of the Crimson Agents, I won at B-Sites DC, Charm, Delaware, and ShmooCon. If you wish to see pictures of food, cats, and wireless ranting, you can follow me on Twitter at the Frustrated IT Guy. When we started winning a little too much, they decided that I needed to be retired, and they decided I should join the wireless capture flag team, and I've been on board since 2017. So our objective today is to try and zoom through some of these slides, 30-45 minutes. We're going to go over different things that you may not be aware of or have questions on, such as what kind of gear you need to bring or what kind of software platforms you need. We're going to go over the challenges and what kind of challenges there could potentially be, and what style the flags are in, so that you know that you have one when you found one. And this is really just to provide just an overall high-level view for somebody who is maybe interested, maybe played once, maybe passed through the room, maybe has just recently heard of the wireless capture flag, and you want to show up and you want to have a good time and not be frustrated. So, this is not going to be a hacking tutorial. As a matter of fact, Zero Chaos and I, a fellow Wireless Village member, will be giving a Web and WPA class at DEFCON on Friday. So if you want that, we can do that there. So we're not going to pull up in a terminal and run Allmon. We're just trying to, if you weren't aware there was going to be Bluetooth or know what good Bluetooth tools there are, I'm going to share that today. I'm going to make you aware of lots of tools and software and hardware. I can make some recommendations, but I'm not today going to provide you a shopping list. I'm just going to make you aware of everything, and you find what meets your needs for going to competition. So, who this is for? Definitely some of the beginners who've never gone, and maybe somebody who has shown up and would like a little bit more information. And some of the concepts we're going to cover and some of the vocabulary, hoping that you are already a little bit familiar with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and the software-defined radio. Just a quick item of clarification. When I use dongle during this time, it will be specifically to the wireless adapters and external wireless cards, software-defined radios for this particular presentation. Alright, we're going to do gear, go over some tools, cover flags, challenges, and then go over just a few DEFCON specific things that, because that's why we're here. We're prepping for DEFCON 26. So, wireless capture the flag is like other Jeopardy-style CTFs. There's no progressive style where you would need to complete one thing in order to get to the next. All the challenges are up. When the wireless village is open, all challenges are running at the same time during the open hours. So if you want to start on one thing and can't finish it, you can go to another, or you can do them in any particular order, out of order, this order. If you want to do Wi-Fi first and then software-defined radio, if you want to do software-defined radio first and then Wi-Fi, it's a choose-your-own adventure. There's various areas of interest, as I've been describing. We're going to have different frequencies up in the air, such as maybe there might be some Morse code. Maybe there's going to be some web and or WPA2 access points. There's going to be some Bluetooth stuff. There's going to be definitely some foxes and hide and seek. Flags will range from 10 to 750 points based on what we feel is appropriate for the difficulty level of the challenge. While this particular CTF, besides a laptop, is slightly hardware dependent, unlike other CTFs that you can just plug in and start hacking with your Kali box. You do need a few other items, but you don't need an absorbent amount of items. Play your way, learn, have some fun, and possibly win and get some cool prizes. So, if you go to our website and go to the CTF area, there will be a place for you to make an account. You're going to want to get logged into the scoreboard. Make sure to change your team name. If you don't go directly into your profile and change your team name, you'll be on Team Blah, and you'll start scoring points for Team Blah. So if you've named your team something really cool and really funny, and you want to make sure that gets on the scoreboard and gets all your points, make sure you get that changed under your profile and change your team name. There is a test flag. We will give that at the opening of the challenge, and you'll be able to submit that and get 10 points to make sure your count works, you're in the right team, and everything's working. And then you're going to kind of want to figure out what you want to do next, what kind of challenge. There'll be an in-brief, and then from there you can kind of, if you're with the team, I recommend you be with the team, start figuring out who's going to start taking care of what. So the challenges, like the Wi-Fi challenges, you're going to see that they're appropriately named, WCTF, and then a number, an associated number. We've done this so that you know that these are the access points for this particular challenge, for this competition. SDRs, nothing's encrypted, it's all within the ham bands, it's all going to be legal. And when you are demodulating it, you will see that WCTF is in it. So if you are pulling down some Morse code and it doesn't say this is the WCTF, then that's definitely not our stuff, so you don't have to continue listening to that frequency and copying that code. The foxes, the names, the MAC addresses for the different styles of foxes or the frequency that the fox will be on will be given when they are released during the day. So, with web, you're going to want to do the right things to collect the right information. If you do not do the right things, you will not collect the right information and you will not be able to crack the web. With WPA, you need to see some kind of association, either by you deauthing it or by seeing a reassociation of some sort. And then you're going to need a word list, and we will have our WCTF DEFCON word list available on our site, and you'll be able to download that. We are, as far as I know, we will have a hard line with internet and providing that in the room, so you'll be able to get that from us. there are challenges that are not immediately in front of your face. We are the wireless village, so make sure you scan the air. There are things that are not immediately obvious, so have a little patience and look around the room through the airwaves and find the other interesting challenges. So, as far as the actual flag that you will need to obtain to submit into the submit a flag area, for Wi-Fi it'll be the passphrase that you need to actually log on to. So when you crack like the web, the passphrase is what you would submit. When you demodulate SDR, it'll be whatever you wish to demodulate. It'll be like this is WCTF and the flag is, and then it'll give you the flag. Other flags will be manually submitted, so if you go out and find a Fox, or you are able to do some really cool things, I'll cover it here in a little while, offenses and defenses in play. If you were to pull off a cool hack, we would manually submit points for you. Other than that, there's other ways to score points. Bribes are even welcome. But be creative in your bribes and get in early, because at about the 5th pizza, we may not be accepting another pizza and or awarding more points. So, the Wireless Village highly, highly, highly recommends you use Pen2 for wireless hacking. If you're going to do anything in the wireless realm, we highly recommend Pen2. It is not 1,000,000% user-friendly. There's still a couple of quirks in there that you need to possibly fix. It is ran and maintained by Zero Chaos, who is a part of the Wireless Village. And at the end of the day, why would you want to use the operating system that the person who writes your challenges uses and tests and hacks wireless with? Kali, while in some cases is more user-friendly, we have found that there are quirks and sometimes outdated libraries and finickiness when it comes to doing wireless things. Don't add pain to your day in the Wireless Village by having to figure out why X and Z does not work. And it's because of maybe something in the distro. When I've had problems in the past, when I plugged in a hack RF or some kind of dongle, and something wasn't working, if I had a Pen2 box next to it and I just plugged it into Pen2, it just worked. So if you use Pen2, a lot more things will just work than if you were to use Kali. If you have a highly customized Kali and you flushed out all the bugs, go ahead and use that. But if you were thinking you were just going to show up that day with a fresh Kali and you were going to compete, I do not recommend that. And if you want to, you can roll your own. You can install Ubuntu, install the tools you want, and go with that. But Pen2 is available, and you can download it now, and you can get it running. So, here we can spend just a second more. So, I do not recommend in any capacity that you use a Mac or an iPhone to compete in the wireless capture the flag. I am not saying that they are not good pieces of equipment for commercial or personal use, but if you're going to use them, it's most likely that you're going to use them in a VM, and that is just not a good idea. In most cases that I have seen, or people that have had problems or raised their hand and wanted help during previous wireless capture the flags, a lot of times when you plug something into the Mac and it doesn't know what to do with it, it doesn't always pass it to the VM. There are times where they're trying to collect something and the virtual bus for the USB is just not cooperating. If you do things in a VM, you're going to add more complexity and more problems. I almost don't want to help you because there could be a multitude of problems. I don't want to be your IT guy the day of the competition if you're using a VM and you're having 100 problems. If you install Pen2 on a reasonable computer, you're going to have a better time. You're not going to have a great time if you use a Mac or an iPhone. Android phones have better tools that I have seen I've not been an iPhone user for years, but I have, with a old Android phone and Wi-Fi analyzer, chased down a Wi-Fi Fox just fine. I didn't need a $900 iPhone to do that. So, depending on how much pain you want to inflict on yourself that day of the competition and how much Googling you want to do not use a Mac, an iPhone, or a VM to participate in the wireless capture the flag. So, we're going to go over suggestions for laptops, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, SDR, and other gear. You definitely don't need a Asus ROG, Republic Gaming, or some kind of laptop that needs a power supply that can cook a freaking Hot Pocket. A mid-grade laptop will do you just fine. You do not want to use the dusty old thing that you got from work 10 years ago out of the closet, because when you start processing signals with like software-defined radio, you're going to find that things are getting a little wonky. You need to be able to multitask a little bit because you're going to run multiple attacks. You're going to, in some cases, run 2 types of software to do software-defined radio. And signals processing just takes a little bit of, it takes enough RAM and enough processor that an old enough laptop would not be able to handle it. And be mindful of oversaturating your USB bus. Because you will be collecting so much data all the time and all at once, the more dongles that you connect, like if you've got a 25-port USB hub that requires external power, you're going to find that you're going to start having packet loss because the USB bus is not going to be able to handle all those streams of data coming through just the one port into the computer. You need to know what you have and what its limitations are. If you do not bring an AC card, you're not going to be able to see AC traffic. If you do not bring a Type N card, you're not going to be seeing N traffic. You do not need an antenna that can pick up Wi-Fi from the International Space Station. You will be in the same room as the equipment that is producing the competition, so be mindful of that. You should absolutely test your gear before you show up. You have permission to go after your own access point at home. You can give yourself that permission. So make sure that you can get your card into injection mode, to monitor mode, that you can actually run air crack, that you can do aero dump, make sure that you can do air replay. I'll be going over some of this software in a little bit. Some dongles can go from $15, such as a TP-Link, to $1,000 with some enterprise grade super fine test equipment. You can compete just fine with the lower end stuff. I have bags full of lower end stuff that I will be bringing with me. At different times you will need different things. You do not need a 24 dBi antenna while you're sitting in the same room with the equipment. Maybe you want to use that when you're searching for the Fox, but as soon as you start getting closer, your signal quality is going to get a little weird. Directional antennas you need to figure out how they act. Your Yagis, you want to make sure that you know how your gear acts around devices so that you can narrow down things better or know what's going on. Knowing how to use your gear is important, and that's why you want to do testing. And just in case you weren't aware, some chipsets do not do monitor mode or promiscuous mode. You're going to want to make sure that you get some Atheros, RA-Link, or Intel cards to be able to do this. Other cards are available. Your mileage may vary, but I have used these and I was successful. With Bluetooth, what really works and is good right now is the Sena UD100 and or the Ubertooth. Ubertooth starts getting a little pricey. It's over $100. The Sena is, like, depending on if you can get off of Amazon or off their main site, it can be anywhere from $20 to $40. Your mileage will vary greatly with some of the Nordic stuff or just any random USB dongle that you can get off of Amazon. These in particular, I know work. Zero Chaos used the Sena UD100 to write the code for Blue Hydra. It works. So, the world of software-defined radio. The RTLSDR blog has the gray dongles, and they're very good. Newelec has them. Those are your, I don't want to say bottom of the barrel, but they're like your entry level. Like I'm interested in this. I want to figure out things. I want to start getting into this craft and see if I like it. And it makes it so that you don't have to buy like your Hack RF or a Blade RF, which, while have way more features and capabilities, they're not necessarily required to do the wireless capture to flag. The RTL, SDR, and the Newelec will get you about 90% of the way there. So if you are new to this and you just want to start playing with things, you can enter for about $25 to $30. Again, right antenna for the job, especially if you're going fox hunting. Directional and omnidirectional will help you get there. Other things to take into consideration is maybe not using not using your main phone to run around and like run after the fox, and then using an external battery for that. So if you've got just an Android that you're going to put Wi-Fi analyzer on, you can just run like a USB micro cable up from the battery bank and just run around and use that, because it will drain your battery quickly, and if you run out of battery, you're going to be up the creek. So walkie-talkies may be helpful for talking back and forth with team members. When you're hunting foxes, the world is your oyster. There's many different ways you can build customized things, like this Super Pringles can antenna thing that's going on here on the screen. We are a creative community. Use something that would inspire you. So, to go over this again, some of the bare minimums to compete in the wireless capture to flag is a laptop of mid-grade quality. To participate in the Wi-Fi section, you're going to want 1 and/or 2 dongles. 2 is way better, 1 is good. A software-defined radio to start hunting down Morse code and SSTV and all these other things. Definitely bring some batteries for your mobile devices. Definitely the desire to learn, because if you come up and ask us questions, we're going to point you in the right direction, but we're not going to hand feed you. And lots of caffeine, because it's Vegas and it's going to be tiring, and you were probably up at that party the night before. So, some sample setups that I have used. Here is a small wireless capture the flag that happened at the unallocated space. I had just a couple of just dongles hooked into a laptop. A Wi-Fi pineapple for just messing around, because if you can mess with the other people and prevent them from doing things, then maybe they won't score points. Later on, I graduated to a USB hub with a couple of different laptops to try and do different things. But I tried different styles of antennas with this picture, and then here I just have just a few in a smaller USB hub, because I ran into that saturation problem. And then I got these cool kind of just like gear bags that protect my dongles from just being at the bottom of my bag and getting busted around and messing up the RPSMA connector on the end. So this next picture is a recent-ish picture of all my gear. This is my personal loadout. This is not required to participate in the wireless capture to flag, but it just shows you that I've tried this, I've bought that, I've tried that. I started off with the entry-level SDRs and got a couple more. Hey, let me try this antenna, let me do this. Just so over years, I have accumulated all this stuff, and I just want to show you the Gearaholic page. So, lots of Wi-Fi pineapples, definitely some wireless hacking exposed books, hubs, laptops, SDR stuff, yardsticks, RTL SDRs, the DVB-D, like the radio, the TV station bad boys, alpha cards, directional panel antennas, little TP-Link access points for possibly spoofing foxes for other competitors to see and not find the real one, USB battery banks, a Pelican case to hold all this stuff because it's expensive and I don't want it busted, nice backpack, nice little shoulder tactical man purse so that I can carry some things around. Down here I bought some RTL SDR adapter kits and hanging those out there in those mesh bags. There is so much stuff out there. Some of it I've tried, some of it I don't like. This is me narrowing down all my gear. Also, for practicing, you may want to at home start building your own wireless hacking lab. So I have took just a TP-Link access point and I have bought a few antennas to hook into devices. Here I have Raspberry Pis that I'm using as clients, and here's me just trying to build out all kinds of stuff. Here on one of my desks. Raspberry Pis have been a great help to my practicing and learning. They're not too expensive, but they're great. It's not like buying multiple laptops to hang out and be your client. So let's go over some software. For Wi-Fi, the Aircrack NG Suite has 9, 10, 11 tools in it, and they will get you almost all the way there. And by that I mean a couple other extra tools do some things better and some things not as good. Kismet is an absolutely great collection tool, but it is not running your attacks like replay attacks or chop attacks or cafe lattes, but you can run all of that through the Aircrack NG Suite. For a lot of the challenges that you will see, the tools in the Aircrack NG Suite will be helpful to you. So make sure that you read the man page for it, make sure you know all the tools, go to their wiki page, learn out all the things. Lots of tools in there that are very beneficial. Wireshark, you're going to need to pull down a PCAP, and you're going to need to look inside at the different crypto that's going on, look at your headers, look at your packet type, do all the things so that you know exactly what's going on with that challenge, so that you can figure out the cool little thing so that you know how to do it. Other tools are out there like Fern, Wi-Fi, MDK, MDK3. There's more than enough. I could do an entire slide deck on all the wireless tools that are out there. As a new person to this, the Aircrack Suite and Wireshark, super helpful. Having Kismet up with a radio on it and doing collection at all times, always be collecting, you will be successful. You will be way more successful. For Bluetooth, Blue Hydra, as developed by Zero Chaos. Right now, the Bluetooth challenges are mainly Fox and Hound, or just Foxes. So, as on the screen here, it'll show you the different devices in the area, the RSSI levels. You can narrow it down to just the one that you want through configuration settings. So you can go chase down the Fox. Other tools are out there. I've not been using them because of just the challenges that are available. So for the WCTF, Blue Hydra is your go-to. But know that if you're doing other Bluetooth things, there are other libraries like Kismet Ubertooth to get data into Kismet as well. SDR, your mission is to sweep the spectrum, find something, ID it, and then demodulate it. GQRX has been what I've used 90% of the time. in conjunction with GQRX, I use FLDigi. So on this here is a picture of GQRX here on the right, and down under the right panel side here, there it says UDP. When you click that, that will send your data from GQRX into FLDigi, and from there I can, if I'm hearing Morse, I can go into FLDigi and select Morse. It will dig to boops and to beeps, and it will turn it into actual words for me, and I don't have to pull up some Google a Morse alphabet and try and figure out what that stuff is, and then write it down. It will do it for me. Other things like GNU Radio. GNU Radio has really, it's an amazingly powerful tool that when you put together, it's like little blocks, building blocks that you can put through and create flows and diagrams. And when you collect a signal, it'll send it through all that, and you'll get what you need out at the other end. When you save those out, you can save it into a Python file, so you don't actually have to open GNU Radio the next time. You can just run that Python file, and it'll do all the things for you. Universal Radio Hacker is available, GR Osmo SDR, lots of tools. So, a couple of tips. Right now, as far as I've been notified, just so you know, Bluetooth is just Foxes. To help you with SDR, because it is not trivial, you're going to want to use the SIG-ID wiki. You're going to want to become familiar with which frequency areas is the ham bands. That way you know that those are the only areas that we're operating in. And check your settings. If you have been using GQRX and or your RTL SDR at home, and you've been communicating and or doing some kind of testing or having fun, where you're pulling in signals from hundreds of miles away and or miles away, you're going to want to change your settings, because you're going to be in the same room as the equipment that is transmitting. And to get the cleanest, best signal possible, to make sure that you're getting the right thing and you can demodulate it, you're going to want to change all your settings so that they are for that particular challenge. Have patience. You're going to be listening to a lot of static. It's not going to be fun. Russ is who comes up with the SDR challenges. He is an evil genius. Things are obvious, non-obvious, everything in between. But everything's in the ham band. Some know that there's probably going to be some kind of weird bouncing signals off of moon gases on Saturn kind of stuff, because it's DEFCON, it's a hacking competition, and of course we got to have some of that wild stuff. So, then I'll speak less. For hide and seek and the foxes. So Fox and the Hound is what it sounds like. We're going to release the fox, and the competitors, the hounds. You're going to go chase down the fox. The foxes are trained prior to DEFCON. If they see you coming like you're a FBI surveillance van, then they may turn the signal off or know to hide from you. Know your surroundings, know what your equipment is capable of, or what your signal strength means to you. Know that things are different when if the device is on the other side of a wall, if the device is concrete, or if the wall is metal. The fox knows that you're looking for them. They also know that if there's just a group of people with all these antennas running around or getting close, that it's time to possibly hide. So your own personal OPSEC is important. So the foxes, there's going to be Wi-Fi, SDR, and Bluetooth, and as far as I know, there will be Wi-Fi, SDR, and Bluetooth hide and seek. Hide and seek is what it sounds like. We're going to go hide something somewhere, and if you find it, it will let you know when you grab it that it's our device and what to do next. So at other conventions and other security conferences, there have been other games, such as the drinking game, where we will throw out a freak range, and we'll have a carrier up. You've got to find the carrier, and If you get it right, you get points. If you get it wrong, you had to take a drink. It could be of alcoholic and or non-alcoholic nature. We did dog collars, where it's a collect and retransmit competition, and we put dog collars on the competitors as like a Wild West high noon stakes shoot off, and first one to zap the other. That was interesting and fun and hilarious. And then we've done war driving at some conferences, still figuring out all the finer intricacies of scoring so that things can be fair. Don't know if that's going to be going on at DEFCON, but know that it's a possibility. A couple of last words. Know your connectors. Going back and forth between RPSMA. RPSMA is a very standard connection type for wireless dongles, whether it's an RTL SDR or a Wi-Fi dongle, and not all the antennas are going to be interchangeable. You need to be aware of reverse polarity or male and or female connector types. You're going to want to have maybe connector adapters. Offense and defense is in play. That means other competitors are probably being mean because, hey, it's a hacker convention. Maybe look into how you can possibly defend yourself or mute somebody that's being loud and sending out a bazillion deauths. There have been times in the past where somebody has pulled off a cool hack and has received creativity points. Know your tools and their capabilities, so when you have possibly figured out what that little cool thing is that challenge, you know which tool can accomplish that for you. So, if you've never competed, never done a CTF, here's kind of like a workflow. You set up all your gear. You want to start scanning because you need to know what's going on in your environment. You want to see what's going on. Okay, there's this, and there's that, and that's this. For this, you're going to want to collect, make a PCAP of what's going on in the air. You're going to want to take a look at that PCAP. You're going to want to dissect a few things. What is this doing, and what is that doing, and what is the crypto for this, and what is this doing, and does this have clients, does it not have clients? And then you're going to want to plan your attack and then perform the attack. So that's just a very basic workflow. The scanning and enumeration is a very big deal. Knowing that it's not just WEP and knowing that it's not just WPA2, knowing one step further what that could possibly be, or what that one little thing is that we're making it so that it's, you know, a little bit harder than that one Wi-Fi class that you took where everything is supposed to be hackable. These aren't immediately just, you know, hit a button and it breaks. You're going to have to put just a little bit more effort into it. So, some DEFCON specific things. It is now in the Flamingo and in Caesars. That means you're going to be highly aware of if you're bringing a lot of stuff or you're trying to drag a satellite dish over from one hotel to the other, you're going to have to go outside and it's hot and it's heavy. Know that that's a thing. We are, the wireless village is in Caesars. The foxes will be, or in the hide and seek, can possibly be in one or the other. So if you're having a hard time finding something in Caesars, it may very well be over at the Flamingo. Know that there's going to be a lot of noise. And when I say noise, I mean both figuratively and literally. There's going to be a lot of people in the room. The room's also going to have talkers and presenters, classes and work groups, and then just people hanging out and having a good time. Also offenses and defenses in the air. So while you're collecting, some of the things you collect may not be the right thing that you need to collect. Somebody may be a meanie head and be sending out just a lot of unnecessary and wrong traffic to keep you from getting the right stuff. There's going to be lots of regular communications, just people just hooked up to the Wi-Fi to check the internet, check what other talks are going on, when they shouldn't be, but checking their bank information. There's just going to be regular communications going on in this building. And of course, you know, people are there, and they're going to go to the Hack 5 booth, and they're going to buy a Wi-Fi pineapple, and they're going to script kitty all over everywhere. So know that that's going on, jesters and jokers. And then it's DEFCON, and people are interesting. Some people are going to do some bad things, so be aware. Do not get stuck. Do not run down a rabbit hole. Do not be working on WEP for 6 hours of your day. If something is difficult, if something is eluding you, there are so many ways to score points. Move on. Come back, maybe go for a walk, go grab a sandwich, go stick a coin in a one-armed bandit and pull it. Just don't get frustrated and don't get stuck. Teams are, for DEFCON, crucial. Not saying put together a 500-person army, but you're not going to be able to conquer this on your own at DEFCON. There's going to be other people who show up that possibly don't have a team, or there's a 2-person team that maybe would not mind having a third. If you are there and you want some help, come up to the table, and if you see me, I will be more than happy to help. Maybe help you find a team. We'll get it squared away. Do not burn out. If you are too tired, too drunk, too sleepy, too out of it, of course it's going to make the capture the flag more difficult. Get some rest, get some water in you, get some food. So we are generally running from about 10 a.m. to 1900 with a couple of parties after on like Friday and Saturday. It's now on our website. If you look at WCTF.us, we have our schedule there, and we are also now in the Hacker Tracker app that has been populated for all the DEFCON things. So you'll be able to go there, you'll be able to start, you'll be able to see all the cool talks that are going on and when our village parties are. So, as I've mentioned, covered again, SIG-ID Wiki, the Aircrack NG Wiki. If you have never used Aircrack NG in your life and you are confused on how to pull off a WEP attack, their wiki has a basic flow of do this, collect this, run this, try this. It steps you through. You can start building your own cheat sheet, start collecting your notes, and you'll do fine. If you want to learn a little bit more about fox hunting before DEFCON, a couple of years ago somebody did a talk at the Wireless Village on practical fox hunting. If you put into YouTube practical fox hunting, you will find it. There are a bazillion tools on GitHub. Don't lean on them too hard as a crutch. Some are good, some are bad, some are great, some may work and some may not work. So just because you've downloaded this one thing and it's not working for you, that just may not work for the challenge that you're trying. The official website again is WCTF.us, and there are many sites out there. There are a lot of links off of the WCTF.us site, and there's also lots of other resources out there. So with that, we have completed the presentation portion of this talk. I will click over to the questions that have been possibly asked in chat. Alright, so Ramsey, you know what? If you are capable of making us all hot pockets with your SDR heatsink and you find me hungry, I will see about getting you some bonus points. Zero Chaos, thank you very much. Just remember, there's a possibility I will be wearing my lederhosen, so if you want, you can come up and get a hug. Are there any other questions? Let me click over to chat. Oh, so is power, so a powered USB hub is not terrible. So I have if you have a 9-port hub and you're only using 6 ports because you couldn't find a 6-port hub, that's fine. If you are using all 9 ports in your 9-port hub, you are going to, I would almost bet money that you're going to have issues. If you are collecting on all 9 things going through one single USB port on your computer, you're going to run into issues. I have consolidated now down to a 4-port USB hub that has power buttons for each port. I have been very successful with that, got it on Amazon. I'm not saying you can't use or don't use a powered hub, but just again, if it's a 9-port hub and you're collecting on all 9 ports, you're going to run into issues.
All right, the next question is, are the Wi-Fi channels going to be static again this year?
That is a great question. Most likely, yes. I have not seen the... I'm usually in the dark so I can help people better. If you scan the air, most likely that will be on the same channel. All right. Well, I mean, if that's it and nobody else has any questions, then I'll wrap this up and let everybody get back to having a great day. Bueller? All right, we'll call it. Thank you very much for everybody that showed up. I am on Twitter if you still have questions. We're on the Hacker Tracker app. See you at DEFCON. Let's have a good time. All right? Have a good one.